How you been, man? It's been a hot sec.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Just keeping busy. Trying to figure out where my focus lies currently.
Sure.
I'm doing a couple different things at the moment. So, yeah, I'm just I'm playing a lot of games. I'm streaming a
Mm-hmm.
lot, so that's kind because that's kind of like where I'm focusing currently. But yeah, that's where I
Right.
am. What about you?
Yeah, no, I've been good, just keeping busy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering, so like, uh, y- right now, how streaming's been treating you? Because I know you've been
Oh,
going very hard on that,
yeah.
and then also like, you mentioned, there are things you're, trying to focus on, like what that's sort of been like,
Sure.
especially like during pandemic, post pandemic, that sort
Mm-hmm.
of thing. But yeah, like going into Twitch, I guess, like how has that been going? And like, I'm super unfamiliar with like I very casually will stream every now and then,
Right, of
but
course.
you've been going like very taking it very seriously, going very
Uh-huh.
hard on it, and so
Yeah.
like
Well,
how's that been?
good. It's been good. I've been doing Twitch seriously for about 4.5 years, I think. But
Mm,
I've been streaming on it longer than that. I mean, it's weird. I checked my account age the other day, and it's like 11 years old at this point, which is
damn.
funny. Yeah, I've been registered and doing Twitch for a while and streaming for longer than that. But it's fun. I mean, it's one of those things that's like, and I don't need to talk to you about YouTube, but I kind of I'm starting to get back to it by putting stuff out there. But because Twitch is so time consuming, it's
Mm,
I have to get somebody else to do the editing for me, like just to get stuff out there. But
right.
Twitch is going well. I like it a lot. And especially because it gives me an excuse to play games that would just eat my time otherwise. And I can
Mm-hmm.
say, well, I'll do it and have fun and entertain while I'm doing it. So that's why I like it a lot. Also, I've been putting a lot of time into Guilty Gear because the new one came out, which
Mm,
is what and I love fighting games and I'm really passionate about that. It's, giving me time to practice and play matches and do that kind of stuff. So that's really fun. Um, and yeah, it's one of those things that's interesting. And you asked about in like the pandemic and then post-pandemic environment. It's cool to get that sort of time to interact with the audience kind of thing, rather
okay.
than just sort of do something on my own and then sort of put it out there. I like that, being able to talk to other people and be like, how are you guys? Are you guys okay? Like, are you guys
Right,
doing
right.
all right? Like, how is it going out there? And get a different perspective. So that's fun. It just gives, like I said, it just gives me an excuse to play games that I wanted to play, but, make it a business thing, and then
Right.
also like make it an entertainment thing. So that's fun. And obviously I still play games on my off time, but it's nice to sort of set that
Separation between, like,
separation.
yeah,
Yeah,
okay, what
exactly.
gets played on the channel, what gets played in free time. Sorry,
Exactly.
somebody is at the door. 1 second, I'll be
No
right
problem.
back.
No problem. Don't cut this out of the final recording. Keep this in. Keep the dead air in. I'm not going to say anything, but keep this in. Don't cut this out.
All right, sorry about that.
No, you're fine.
So, what determines what gets played on the channel versus what gets played in your free time? Like,
Oh man.
I think for me that would be kind of a tough decision, because I feel like most games that I want to like play fresh, I would want to keep on the to myself. But I understand that a lot. I'm sure a lot of the interest is watching you react to stuff like you've never experienced before. So, how do you decide what gets played on Twitch and what's not?
You asked literally the hardest question and one I don't have an answer to yet.
Okay, okay.
No. Basically, if it's something I'm really passionate about, then I'll probably play it on the channel, right, on my Twitch channel.
Mm,
But once in a while, I have to look at it and be like, does anyone give a shit about this? Sorry, can I curse?
Yeah, go for it.
Does anyone give a shit about this game other than me? And there was recently a game that I was having, and this has happened a few times on the Twitch channel, and it's like, I'll say, like, I know I'm probably the only person that cares about this game. Maybe there's a couple people out there that care, but it's it's like either a long game, like an RPG or something, and two, I'm thinking, like, does anyone else care about this? So I'll just go for it and sort of gauge the interest. Recently, well, maybe not recently, maybe a couple months ago, I played Dragon Quest Monsters.
Sure.
There was a 3DS remake of Dragon Quest Monsters, the second one. And I love those. I love monster racing games in general. And I was I really want to play this. But it's long. I mean, those games are, dozens of hours long. They're not only an RPG, but they're also, really long, taking the time to grind out the levels and crossbreed the monsters so that they, you can get the monster you want, et cetera, et cetera. And I loved those games. And I started playing it, and I was thinking, like, I sort of shouldn't have showed behind the curtain as much, but I was asking constantly. I was like, are you guys enjoying this? Because I'm having a great time, but I don't know if you're having a good time. So once in a while you'll get a game that I'm sort of a little shaky on if people want to watch this. A while ago, a couple of years ago, I streamed Breath of Fire 3, which is my favorite JRPG, and constantly I was like, I'm just letting you guys know there's a lot of dialogue in this. Like, there's a lot of me walking around, fighting the right monsters, getting the right skills on the right characters, and I'm just warning you now. And it was fun because it's one of those things that's like, because you're streaming and you're the focus, you can make it fun. Like, you can make it fun and entertaining depending on what you're doing. But sometimes you got to think, like, is this dry? Like, is this too dry for you guys? Because, and I don't need to tell you this once again, that streaming for an audience is different than playing a game on your own. Because, if I just sat down and played Breath of Fire 3, I'd have a great time. But here I am sitting down having to be like, okay, I got to make this entertaining. I got to make this fishing minigame entertaining. I got to make, this fairy village builder simulator part of the game entertaining. So it's... as long as you are enjoying it, and as you as in me, as long as I'm having fun and making it fun for other people, it's okay. But game fatigue is real, and there is that drop off of, like, yeah, okay, we've watched 50 hours of this dude play this JRPG for the PS1. Like, how much longer can we really stay? But I think if the game is good and you're enjoying it, then it's not a problem, right?
Sure.
Like I did all of Like a Dragon. I played all of Like a Dragon on stream, and I did all the extra shit. I did, but that also had the benefit of being a new game that a lot of people were excited to experience. And so, fantastic job, by the way. I'm playing it in my off time. I'm playing my off time in English. And it's everybody did such a good job in that. It's as long as it's a good game and you're having fun, even if it's a bad game and you're having fun, then it's okay. Yeah. Then it's whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for like right now, for example, what's a game you're playing in your off time?
Ooh, in my off time. What am I playing in my... Well, right now is unique because Guilty Gear is out, and so I just want to practice. I just want to play, practice. So that I'm playing both on and off stream.
Okay.
Yeah. But
that makes sense.
Yeah. I'm thinking, is there like a game I'm playing in my off... Yeah, I do play Dead by Daylight in my off time. A little bit here and there. I play that just to unwind. Once in a while, I'll play that. I'm playing City of Heroes in my off time. I love that. I'm such a sucker for that game. But that one I'm playing in my off time. But right now, because Gear is about 2 weeks old, and like there's tournaments coming up. I actually have a tournament today. I have to practice. I got to make sure I'm in proper skill condition to, actually be competitive and that kind of thing. So that's eating up a lot of my time, but I'm playing that both on and off stream. So this is a unique time where, I'm playing both on and off stream the same game. But there's other games that I'm playing in my off time that I'm having fun with, and just sort of playing for me rather than playing for an audience.
Well, so that's good to hear that you're very successful with Twitch, and then
Thank you.
I mean, speaking of Guilty Gear, I mean, congratulations on getting in a Guilty Gear game.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
And so, for I guess my next question is, I know that you've always been very very passionate about voiceover.
Yeah.
And as you're getting like a role in like Guilty Gear, and I'm like, how is that going to shift things future wise for you? Like what do you is your main focus still going to be like, let's say, Twitch, and then like voiceover? Like, I'm just curious, like how will that sort of shape your creative
Woof. Okay.
path?
Man, okay. That's a big one. Okay, so I mean, you know that that voiceover has always been my passion. It's what I've always loved to do. And I would love to continue to do it. It's one of those things that, and once again, I don't need to tell you that it's unpredictable, and you audition when you can, and whatever you get. It's one of those kind of things. And so I'd love to do it. I mean, voiceover is what I would always love to do. I mostly did YouTube and Twitch just to sort of have a job.
Sure.
And that's it may be a more unconventional job, but that's always been my focus. I mean, I did all the stuff, the Homestuck stuff and the 50% off stuff, just to have a creative outlet to do what I was passionate about.
We have very similar backgrounds in that.
Yeah, absolutely.
A lot. I mean, not just you and me, but a lot of us.
A lot of people just did that to have something to do. Yeah.
Right.
And I mean, I started my YouTube channel when I was still living in Minnesota, but when I was in Colorado, that's where I really started, and I didn't have any opportunities out there. So I was like, well, if I don't have any opportunities, I'll make my own. So I did that, and now I'm lucky in the position that I live in a place, and we're also in an environment in the industry where you can kind of start doing what you want from wherever you are. And so, but I mean, I like it here, so it just happens to be convenient for the other purpose.
Sure.
But it's one of those things that's like, I'd love to keep doing it, and I'd love to have the opportunities to keep doing it. I'm just I'm so lucky that this one sort of came around when it did. Because I love, and I think I'm also in the unique position of the fact that I'm a really, really big fan of this series, and I just happen to get the chance to be in it, which is really cool. And I can say, that doesn't always happen. Even if you are a super fan of something and you get the audition, you have the leg up of knowing the context of a lot of things, but that doesn't necessarily guarantee that you're going to get in it. Sure. Although it is cool when it does happen, and it's not unheard of. Although I will say, I think I'm probably the best Guilty Gear player who's gotten into the series. I can't say that. I can't say that with certainty, but I will say if they ever had a tournament for all the actors, I can safely say I might get into winners finals. Maybe.
I think that's easy, obvious, right?
Yeah.
Like, do any of the other actors play as hard as you do in Guilty Gear?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know Jameson Price that well. He might kick my ass.
Turns out he's a fucking beast.
He's just this monster, and he absolutely eliminates me. I'm like, wow, okay, go, all right, man.
I mean, as long as I've known you, I've known that you are a Guilty Gear guy. So I'm like, okay, I think you've got that one in the bag. I think you can safely proclaim that.
The other day, I jokingly was like, all right, KG, when's our first of 5? Because he's Faust. He plays Faust. And he responded, he was like, let's do it. I was like, okay, let's go. And
Yeah.
it was fun. I mean, I gave him the business, but he knows fighting games. He's a Street Fighter guy though. He plays Street Fighter, and I'm not. I mean, I used to be 10 years ago, but I mostly focused on anime fighters for recent memory. And so, you know, I gave him, I'm actually typing up like a thing. I'm going back and watching our matches, and he was like, hey, you know, like I had a lot of fun. Do you think you could tell me what I could improve on? So I'm going back and watching our matches, and I'm typing up something for him. And even just last night, I mean, I commentated top 8 so there's a weekly tournament called Wednesday Night Fights for SoCal, and I commentated top 8, and, you know, I mean, I know the stuff, and I know the terminology, so it's not that difficult for me to jump in and provide commentary and insight when I watch matches. But yeah, I mean, I know my stuff. I'm there. Like I'm there for it. Like I'll play. It's one of those things that I'm just happy that Guilty Gear is getting its time, because, you know, it's put in the hours. Like it's been around since '98. Yeah. It's an old series, and the fact that people are playing and enjoying it is I'm sitting pretty. I'm happy. You know, the fact that I'm in it is a humongous bonus. I mean, it's literally a bucket list thing. Like, I'll admit, I cried when I got that casting email.
No, absolutely.
I really did. Like, I cried. It was a big thing for me. I remember us talking at one point and saying, like,
I remember this conversation.
Yes. Yeah. And we could say, like, if there was one thing, and you said Ace Attorney, right?
Yeah,
that would be like your big one. I mean, gear is it for me. Like, that's like I'm good. You know, like I jokingly say, like, if I never got cast in anything else, I could point back and be like, well, I got in Gear. I mean, still I'll still audition. Like, hey, still send me. Hey, you out there? Still send me roles.
With that said, absolutely. Let me read for shit. Yeah.
Let me read for shit. I'll still do it. But you know, it's one of those things that I say, you know, hey, I did it, you know, like I put in the time and I did the work, and that's what this is really what I wanted to do. And that's very cool that I got to do it. So yeah, I'm just happy, man. You know, like I'm just feeling happy and lucky that they gave me that chance. And I almost didn't get it. The only reason I got to read for it at all was I emailed, and you know Val and Keith from PCB. They're the best. They're literally the nicest people on the planet. And I was like, this was just after the game got delayed, where I said, I reached out to Val, and I was like, because I'd worked with them before on Strikers, on Persona 5. And I was like, I know you guys, like, hey, I know you guys did the previous dubs of this series. Because I had no idea who was doing it. This was like a total crapshoot. I was like, because, you know, they don't tell us as actors any of this, right? It's all a production side. And so I emailed them and said, hey, look, I know you did the previous games. If you're doing this one, I'd love to read for it. I just, like, you know, I'll read, even if you just have me as additional voices. Just let me try. And she responded, and she's like, oh my God, absolutely. Here, read for a couple parts. And I was like, oh, you know, and this is, you know, the only reason I did this is, and that's such a, and you know, as an actor, that's such a sort of dangerous tightrope to walk when you ask a director, because you never know if they're doing it or not, and you never know if it's okay. And so,
but sometimes they don't respond well. But
exactly. But they're so nice, and I had a working professional relationship with them because I'd already worked with them on Persona before. So it's like, hey, I'll just ask, you know, and the worst they can say is, nah, you know, everybody's already got parts, or, you know, we're not doing it, because I didn't know at the time. And and they said, yeah, read for it. So they let me read for Axel, and I spent like 7 hours like thinking about like getting the best takes I could. And they say, I've heard that you'd never get anything good past your third take, but I just really, really wanted to put the time and the effort in to really get a good audition. And I sent it in, and that was it. So I got lucky in that regard. So I'm just thankful that I had the opportunity to be in my favorite series. I'm happy.
No, I'm very happy for you for a myriad of reasons.
Thank you.
Before I go and get into that, though, like, this is a existing character, right? So you knew this character already.
Yes, this character was actually this is a recast. I'm who was originally Guilty Gear has had 2 English dubs in its well, technically 3, but we don't talk about the first one because it was an English dub of the intro movie for Guilty Gear X, and it's very much a mid-90s kind of dub that, you know, they probably didn't have all the information or whatever. So the first one was Guilty Gear 2 Overture, which was also done by PCB, where Troy Baker is sole bad guy. And it's actually, and Sam Riegel is Kai. He also reprised Kai in Guilty Gear Sign. But Guilty Gear Sign was the first fighting game that had a full English dub. And Axel was voiced by Liam O'Brien, and he did an awesome job. He was so good. But I think they just wanted to go in a different direction, and, you know, sometimes they just do that. You know, sometimes they just do that, and that's totally cool. Yeah. They just want to try something different, and they just went with me, I guess. So I'm very thankful.
Did you listen to? Or I'm sure you were familiar with his performance. Then. So then, when you were doing your take, was it like, I want to do I want to like sound similar, or go my own way, or a mix of both? Like, what was your sort of process on developing the voice?
I'd heard, oh God, I feel so bad. I know the Seiyu's name.
For Axel Lowe?
For Axel. Okay, I'm going to Google his name. And
I'm on it right now. Is it Keiichi Namba?
Keiichi Namba, yes. He's also, I believe, Andy Bogard in King of Fighters. Yes, he's awesome. He's a ton of stuff. He's super prolific. So I've heard him. I mean, I've played, my playtime on Guilty Gear just on PC alone is about 1,800 hours.
Sure.
And that's just on the newest version of Rev. So, you know, I've got probably over 2,000 hours in Guilty Gear. I've heard this character for, you know, hundreds of hours. So I knew what his personality was like. And they give you, you know, whenever you read for something, they give you the personality, right? It's there.
Yeah.
They say, this is what this guy's about. You know, here's kind of an overview of him. This is what he's like. This is, you know, his whole steez. And so I said, okay, well, here's what they're going for. I know, I've heard Liam's reads for it, so I know what he was like, what they were looking for, you know, previously when they cast it. So I thought, okay, I can do this. The hardest part was the accent, because he's got a Cockney accent. He's English. I mean, you look at him, he's got, you know, the whole thing. So, there's some accents I'm more comfortable with than others, and this is one that I was okay with, but I thought, you know what, I'm going to do, and this is, I think, something that I've learned a lot of through acting and voice acting specifically, is as long as you get the attitude of the character down, if your accent isn't, like, perfect, it's okay. Like,
as long as you have, like, as long as it sounds good. You know?
Exactly.
That can honestly make up for any, like, no, I mean, unless you're like that, you know, someone's like, I'm going to study every single, like, syllable. It's like, who gives a shit? Like, you know?
Yeah. And I thought, like, okay, I'm going to give my best read in the best accent that me personally, you know, as Alex can do.
Sure.
And, but what I really want to nail is his attitude. Right? I need to get the attitude. I need to get how he projects himself when he fights first. That's the most important thing. And he's like, he's a piece of shit. Like, he's a goofball, and he doesn't take anything seriously, and he's totally, and so I just did that, you know, and I was like, you know, I'll just be happy-go-lucky and do that thing, and that I'll do the best accent that I can. So getting that character came first, and then I put the accent over that. And I was like, okay, here it is. This is my read for it. And I did that, and they went for it. They liked it. So, and actually it's funny because the guy who was casting from the localization company side is also a huge fan. Shout outs to Yuji. He's a super cool dude. And he cosplays as one of the characters from as Venom from Guilty Gear, and he's really nice. And he heard my read and cast me, and I thought, because I also, I'll say it. I actually contacted, when I got the audition, I contacted the localization company who I knew was helping to cast, and I was like, hey, I sent in an audition. I'd love to just be a part of this. It's my favorite series, because I worked with them too before on other projects. And so I had a contact there, and I reached out, and I was like, hey, I'd love to be a part of this. And my contact said, hey, no problem. We'll talk to one of the producers or whatever, and see if at the very least we'll get you a background character. You can just be in it, say you were in it, have fun. And I was like, cool. And they cast me, and I reached out and said, oh my God, thank you so much. Thank you for, whatever you did. And they got back to me and said, oh, we actually never got that message to you. You just got cast on your audition, which made me feel way better about everything.
Of course you got cast on your audition.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah.
You've got the skill to get, so kind of going into something I was going to talk about earlier.
Of course. Sorry, I got
sidetracked. Oh, no, that's not sidetracked at all. That was all completely relevant.
Yeah,
but,
sure.
There was absolutely, when I saw that you were cast, I'm like, first off, good for him because he's a huge fan. Right?
Thank you.
There's also, I've had previous guests on. I've had, Lily Pichu. I've had Eric Ishii. People where we've talked about just, the being an online person, right? Being an online person, and then voiceover, right? And I don't need to tell you this, but there the sort of there could be a stigma of oh, well, that's an internet person, they don't know how to act, right? Right. But then it's shit like this, right, where it's you got cast based on your audition. Oh, miraculously, you also do Twitch. Oh, that didn't somehow make you a bad actor.
Yeah.
It's that thing, that stigma.
It's so unfortunate that there is that stigma attached to it, because, and I made a tweet about this a couple years ago, where I said, I started doing online stuff and being, online with capital O, because I had no other outlet,
Yeah.
And the industry is so competitive and so hard to get into that it's well, I don't want to just sit around and wait to express myself through what I love to do until somebody says, okay, now you can do it.
Exactly.
It's me making things and putting things out there. And I think you have a similar thing. You love to entertain, and
the exact same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and you said, I'm not going to wait around for people to let me do this. I'm just going to do it, right?
Yeah.
And that's why, it's so unfortunate that there is that stigma, because a good actor is a good actor. If somebody can portray a character the way that a director thinks that they should be portrayed, then who cares what else they do, right? Who cares? As long as you can do it, and if you can do the work, then then who gives a shit, right? It should be. I have a very meritocratical, I hope that's the right word, view of that. If you are look at Harrison Ford. He was a carpenter, right? He was doing carpentry work. Who cares if he can? Right. I think he was also an actor, but if you can read the words good, if you read words good, who care? It's so I'm very against that whole Twitch people, have their Twitch thing, and actors have their acting thing. Let people do whatever they want.
Especially seeing how many actors now want to get into Twitch.
Yeah.
It's an interesting. I forget who I was talking about this with, but it's how the turntables.
Yeah, exactly. It's so true. And you know what? I will go on record and say we would love to have you on Twitch. We love, actors.
Absolutely.
Yeah, actors.
Right.
If you're, be the bigger bunny. If you are out there and you are an actor and you want to get on Twitch, please, we would love to have you. Please come onto the platform. And please add yourself and put yourself out there on Twitch. It is a lot of fun, and I'm sure there's a lot of people that would love to see you. So I will absolutely stand up and be the spokesperson. I mean, not that I'm not Mr. Twitch or anything, but as much as I can, I'll come out and say, come onto the platform. It's fun. We'd love to have you. It's a good time. Play some games, do a just chatting stream, build some Lego sets, have fun, you know? I think that's the environment that I want to have. Is if you want to do it and you want to put in the time, then have fun. You know, that's how I see it. So
right, no, I agreed. And also, on the less nice way of putting it is also like, hey, maybe you can also show that you have a personality outside of acting.
Yo!
Ooh, spicy. Anyway,
look, I'm going to say this right now. You can't be a voice actor unless you have VA in your Twitter handle. That's the rules. That's the law. I don't make the rules. That's
if you didn't take a photo of yourself at the mic, did you really do the performance?
No, it's true. The boothy, that is what they put up on IMDb. Unless you put your name on a role on IMDb, they say, where's the boothy, bitch?
Yeah,
show it to us. No, it doesn't exist. Bam, they delete that entry so fast. No,
yeah, it's like, they're like, you clearly didn't do it.
No.
But half joking aside,
right.
I say it to, you know, whenever people are like, how do you get into voice acting? How do you do this? Whatever. It's like, well, make your own shit.
Yeah.
You know, I think the old guard, and I saw tweets about this recently, so this is also on my mind. I think the old guard will be like, you gotta go in theater. I'm like, you don't need to go in theater. You don't need to go in there. Like, it really, what they're really boiling it down is, you need acting experience. You need to be good at acting.
Yes.
So, whether that's through theater or improv, which is what people normally say, but I'm like, hey, making dumb shit online and just getting better at it and meeting people who are also doing it and like just even if it's just doing fucking parodies of stuff, like, I'm sorry, that is also practice. That is also and you know, so many people in our generation.
Yeah,
that was
true.
that was us, right?
It's so true.
Some of them don't want to, you know, necessarily admit it, which is fine, but and a lot of people are like, oh yeah, no, fucking what was that forum? I wasn't on that forum really, but Voice Acting
Alliance.
Yeah, Voice Acting Alliance, or like Tumblr, or you know, all you know, so many people. It was just like, well, we want to do this.
Yeah.
How the hell are we supposed to do this?
Let's do it. And it sort of connecting these two, the previous half joking thing and this aside, is I think what they were saying when they say do theater is exactly what you said. Is acting experience is so useful, and that was kind of the only way to do it previously was to get the acting experience. So acting experience, and oh my god, class. I was so resistant to taking classes because I had a bit of an ego problem. My ego was kind of getting in the way where I was like, taking classes would admit that I all the experience I had is for naught, but it was a backwards way of thinking. And I did take the classes, and they did help a lot. And I'm very happy that I did. I took a number of different classes, but have stuff outside of voice acting that you do too. And connecting, it's connecting those two things where it's like, if it's what you want to do, great, and work towards it. But other things are also important. Other things are also important for your development as both a person and in your career. That's why, and it's kind of funny too, because I mean, for me, it's, streaming and playing video games and fighting games, right? And I love fighting games and I love competing, and that keeps me active and keeps me, doing something else. But it's also kind of weird because I'm in this one now, and it's like, oh yeah, I'm in this. Okay, well, I'm not gonna think about that right now. I'm just gonna focus on playing this match. So,
sure.
Yeah. But I think it's a good idea to both pursue that dream, but also to have things outside of it as well. So
also, I mean, now I'm just bringing up like the other thing I always say. Well, make your own shit, get acting experience. Yes. Having a personality outside of your job is also that's also something I should just add on.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, so much of this job is just, who do you know, or who can vouch for you, right?
Yeah.
So it's networking. It's all networking. It's like, hey, can this person vouch that you're good? Yeah. And so in order to that, it ties into making your own shit. It's like, okay, well, if you make your own shit, you don't have to wait on anybody. You kind of gave a good point. Like, you don't have to wait on anybody, right?
Yep.
You make your own shit. You show that you're good, and people go, oh, he's good, or they're good. Great. Want to read for this? Or
Yeah.
or hey, let's that's how you and I got in.
Yeah.
It was just we had to do it ourselves.
The thing about doing it yourself is you learn a lot of skills. You
Yes.
if you are putting that time in, oh my God, you pick up so many skills so fast. Because it's sort of like that. I mean, everybody's different in how they learn. Some people are just a very classroom environment kind of person, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I am not.
Sure.
I'm a very experienced learning kind of person. I'm a very like, sit me down, I know nothing, let me try. That's how I learn, and everybody's got different learning styles. But I learned so much about editing, about filming, about audio editing. I learned so much just by doing, and picking up those skills is invaluable for you as a person as well. Just to know things and to have that experience is great. So yeah, I think that's very helpful. But you're absolutely right about the who you know and that kind of stuff, and that's also very important as well.
Right. Now, I like to give the guests an opportunity.
Sure.
Is there a topic that you would like to bring up or a question you would like to ask me?
Yeah. Can we talk about board games?
Absolutely.
Okay. So, I'm sorry. Can I bring up a board game recently that I've been playing? Okay. So we can. Sorry, I don't want to make this about me, but I wanted to talk to you about it.
Yes. Yeah.
So I have recently been playing Betrayal at House on Haunted Hill, right? Or Betrayal at House on the Hill. I got the expansion, and I gotta say, I love everything about the expansion except the haunts. Like, it's so weird. Like, everything they added, the new rooms, the new items, everything is great. I just don't like the haunts as much as the base set, which sucks. Because that's like the whole focus of the game.
So are they unbalanced or just boring, or what's the problem with them?
Some of them are over. Like, sometimes in a board game, especially in Betrayal at House on the Hill, you feel like... at a first glance, it's a little complicated looking, but when you play them out, they're not that bad, right?
Right.
You look at the rules and you're like, I don't get this, and then you start it and you're like, I get it. Some of the expansion haunts are just way too complicated. Like they take way too much time, and it slows the pace down a lot, which is unfortunate because that ending. After the haunt's revealed, it should have that dread feeling where, as the survivor, you have to escape or whatever, defeat the monster, and as the monster, or as the betrayal, the traitor, you are thinking like, okay, how can I strategize and take care of the survivors, right? But it oftentimes devolves into being like, what can I do again?
Okay,
what can you do?
I look at your
again?
manual, like, right, I'm supposed to do this.
Yeah.
Whereas,
So as opposed to, I think in the base game, but not that they're not bad. It's just I feel like, and I haven't done all of them yet, obviously, but the ones I have done, every time we check the table, and it's like, oh, it's an expansion haunt. Okay. Yeah, it's like, all right, but I've been. I mean, overall, I really like that game. I think that game is a ton of fun. But that's me.
My sort of overall, like, for Betrayal, like, it's been a while since I played. I think the last time I played it was maybe a couple of years ago at my cousin's.
Sure.
And I always enjoy Betrayal, but I always go into it knowing that haunt has a chance of being completely broken. Like, completely, in either one way or another, or one side, or favoring us one side or another side. I still have it. Like, I still keep it in my collection because that traitor mechanic is so fun to me.
It's
like,
so cool.
It can be anybody, and it, you never know what the game is going to be. I have not played it enough to get tired of it, but I'm constantly, like, oftentimes Anne-Marie will be like, can we, like, play a game again? And it's like, no, I got all these games I gotta play. I'm sorry, I keep buying games. So that's sort of my issue. Have you heard of Betrayal Legacy, though?
No, what's that?
Oh, shit. Okay, I haven't played it yet.
Okay.
I own it. And it is... are you familiar with Legacy games?
I don't think so. Legacy?
Got it. The I'll explain it. The listeners are like, "Oh my god, he's explaining legacy games." Does he ever talk about anything else? But I like spreading the good word. Legacy games are board games that are like they're campaigns, so they're permanent decisions. Like you play through the
like Gloomhaven.
Yeah, Gloomhaven, Pandemic Legacy,
Pandemic Legacy. Sure. Yeah, you explain. Yeah, okay. I totally remember this now. Yeah.
Oh, no. So Betrayal Legacy, I have not played it, but I hear it's very good, where you are playing games of betrayal in a campaign, but the decisions are permanent. And I think you're playing through like generations of a family.
That sounds awesome. That sounds cool as hell.
I hear it's pretty great. I have not played it myself yet because all my Legacy games are just sitting there because I can't crack them. I don't have the time right now. But at some point I want to crack it open and like everyone who I've heard who is a big Betrayal fan is like, yeah, no, it's fucking sick. So
that's awesome.
If you're a big Betrayal person, I think people really like the Legacy version.
Okay, that's cool.
Even people who aren't as big on Betrayal are like, no, the Legacy version is pretty legit. So
that's awesome. Yeah. I actually picked up a Legacy game, the Bloodborne game, which is also a Legacy game where you you can continue it. And you go through different areas and fight enemies. I still haven't had a chance to play it yet, but I got both the Bloodborne game because I went to a board game store and we were looking for some stuff. My girlfriend and I were looking for some things, and I saw it, and I remember the Dark Souls board game came out, and I think you have it, don't you? Do you have the Dark Souls board game?
I do not, no.
Oh, you don't? Okay, I thought you had it. Never mind. But it came out, and I remember everybody saying, like, oh, this game's great. And I love Dark Souls, and I love all the From Software stuff. I was like, so I'll get it. And I love Bloodborne, so I'll buy the Bloodborne game. And they had an expansion, so I bought the Bloodborne game and the expansion, and I said, hey, at worst, I love mini painting. Like, I love miniature painting.
Yeah,
so let me buy that, and I'll paint the minis. And the minis are really cool in that game. Shouts out. If anybody has that game, like, back me up on this. Those minis are really cool. So I bought it, and I was reading through it, and I was like, this looks really cool. And it's one of those board games you can play solo. You can actually play it by yourself. And I actually thought about doing a stream of that and, like, getting a top-down camera on my desk because I have one for when I play Magic the Gathering or when I open packs. And I was like, what if I just play the Bloodborne board game and learn how to play it? And then, so I still want to do that and figure out how to play it, but it looks very cool, and I'm really excited to play it. And then actually Ash, my girlfriend, got the Hellboy board game, which is the same kind of thing. But it was funny because we got them close to each other, and I started to learn how to play the Bloodborne board game, and then she was like, oh, learn how to play the Hellboy board game and we can play it together. And they're similar, but they have, slight mechanical differences. And so now I'm like trying to keep them separate in my brain and like not mix up the rules because they're both like that sort of, oh, you're going through and investigating stuff and trying to fight enemies as you walk through rooms. And now I'm just like, wait, which one has blood points again? And surprisingly, it's not Bloodborne. And I'm like, okay, wait a minute. Now I got to keep them separate and play them at different times. So
this looks cool too. I'm looking at the Hellboy board game.
Oh yeah, it's got like crazy good reviews. It's really cool. It's like a cooperative board game. There's 4 different characters you can play, and there's like a boss you can fight. They're almost identical to the From Software games, but I guess it's got its own twist where you have like a character card that has unique, and each character has unique skills. So instead of all the hunters being the same and then you building your deck around that, each character has like unique traits. So like Hellboy has regeneration and stuff like that, and like Liz can do like extra AoE damage. It's really cool. It's a super cool game. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, highly
I'm looking at Bloodborne. Oh yeah, it's Simon or so they have incredible minis.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely makes sense.
Yeah.
That looks cool. Hellboy looks cool.
Yeah, highly recommended.
As you know, like board gaming for me is the big thing, and is for you like besides Bloodborne and Hellboy, has there been anything else you've been playing recently or like want to play?
Well, I play a lot of the Bang dice game.
Oh yes, yeah. We played that together. Yeah,
Bang is fun, especially because I love Bang as sort of a gateway board game because everyone loves it. I've never met a person who didn't like playing that, and also it it's super fun, and it's so easy to pick up. It's so easy.
Right.
And I actually bought the expansion for that one too, and that is highly recommended from me. That is like a personal.
That's the one with the ghost?
Yes, the ghost solved so many problems in that game, because if you're the first one out, it's such a bummer, right?
Sure.
It's because if you're playing with like 6 people or 7 even, that those games can go for pretty long. But if you get the ghost, the first person who dies becomes the ghost, and on their turn, I hope I'm getting the rule right, they roll 1 dice and they can save that result. And then during anyone else's turn, they can swap a die out for that result. So if the ghost gets a dynamite, right, and then somebody rolls 2 dynamites, you can say stop. And then you get to replace the dice with the dynamite and blow them up, right? Or like, because you killed me, so I'm going to blow up your turn. Or you get somebody who helped you during when you were alive. You have a Gatling. You can give them, they roll 2 Gatlings. You're like, hey, I'm going to give you a 3rd Gatling, so don't worry about it, right? So it lets you affect the game for the rest of the game. So even though you're the first one out, you still get to play, which is pretty cool.
You consistently get to keep doing that then.
Yep. You're in the game for the rest of the game, and it's pretty cool.
And is it like in the rules that you're still on the same role you had, or does that not matter?
It doesn't matter. You can do whatever you want. You're the ghost. You can play whatever sides you want. So if you were an outlaw, right, then you can affect the sheriff. And because you can't be targeted, you can just like blow up the sheriff's turn if you want. Like if you want to just mess with the sheriff, then go for it, right? The other cool one is there's 2 new dice, which you can choose to roll during your turn, the loudmouth and the drunkard dice. And a lot of them have like doubles on them. So it's like there's a side with double beer, there's a side with double shots, there's a side with, but then they also have like double arrow or double dynamite, right? So like it's a risk to roll them. And there is also the chief's arrow, which is an arrow that counts for more. But if you have the most arrows and the chief's arrow, when the last arrow is taken, you take no damage instead of all the things. So then it becomes this like race to take the most arrows and see who can get more arrows than the person with the chief's arrow, so they take more damage. It's cool. It just adds a lot of new factors to the game. If you've kind of already gotten a little tired of the Bang Dice game, then I super recommend that, because it spices it up and adds a bunch of news and there's new characters and new like cowboys to play as and things like that. So it adds a whole bunch of stuff. So recommend that one.
Is there like a new character ability you know off the top of your head that you're like, oh, this one's pretty cool, or this one is like?
I think it is. Oh gosh, okay. Some of them have to do with the loudmouth and drunkard dice. So it's like, I think if you roll on the drunkard dice, the double shot, and then like another 2 shots, you get to heal yourself or something like. It's like a lot of them revolve around the mechanics of the expansion, but not all of them do. Some of them are just really good. But I can't remember some of them. It's been a while since I've seen the expansion ones, but it's good. Totally worth the purchase if you've been playing the Bang Dice game and you want to spice it up a little bit. And I will say, so this past weekend I went to Vegas with a group of friends, and we went to an Airbnb because we hadn't seen each other, and we all got vaccinated, and we're like, hey, let's hang out and play and go to Vegas. And we brought the Bang Dice game, and I gotta say, we played with 6 people, and so you know how some amounts of people, when you play, they say like, okay, well, with 5 people you have this many, right, and with 4 people you have this many, and with 6 people you have this many. So 6 is super funny to me because I got the deputy as 6 players, and that is the easiest deputy you will ever have, because it sounds unfair, but there's only 1 deputy and 1 sheriff in 6 players, right? That means you and the sheriff are fighting 4 other people. But it's so easy as the deputy because you instantly know who to kill. Because you're like, I'm the deputy. I do not need to trust any of these motherfuckers, right? You're like, I don't trust.
You start blazing.
Yeah, you just start shooting, and then everybody's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Well, I know you're not the deputy." And they're like, "Yes, I am." And I'm like, "Haha, very funny." And it's like you can have absolute confidence that you can shoot whoever you want, and it's the right decision. Because the problem with 7 is you've got 2 deputies, right?
Yeah.
And then you have to think, you're like, oh crap, I don't want to start, because when the deputies shoot each other, then it becomes so easy for the outlaws to win. So yeah.
What's your perfect player count?
Ooh, I think 7 is good, because that way you get you get 2 deputies, 1 sheriff, 1 renegade, and 3 outlaws, and that's when the real hidden role stuff happens, because then the deputy actually has to be careful. You can't just start shooting. I mean, it's fun to have the 1 deputy and just start shooting people, but with the 2, you really have to start like looking at people, and if they're, you know, it's so obvious when people are like overly loyal to the sheriff and they're either the renegade or the outlaw. It's so obvious to me. So it's I think 7 is the ideal count, but I think you can do 8. I don't know if you can go that high, but I think 7 is perfect.
Cool.
Yeah.
Going back to, you mentioned Vegas.
Yeah.
Now, what do you like to do in Vegas?
Oh, so I don't gamble or drink. So restaurants, dude. There's so many good restaurants there. Shows, even just like, you know, like going out and seeing what there is to do, because there's other stuff in Vegas off the strip. There's,
absolutely.
Oh my god, how could I forget? Okay, this will eat up a good chunk of time, but I'm sorry, I didn't want to just go back to talking about me again. But
no, go for it.
I went to this thing called Area 15, and it's basically this sort of interactive, I guess you could say it's like an interactive exhibit kind of thing, experience, I think they call it. And it's this huge, it looks like a hangar, and inside they have these different, there's sort of like mazes you can walk through, and the one I did was called Omega Mart, and it's basically you walk in and it looks like
Oh wait, Omega Mart?
Yeah.
I've heard of this.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. I was like, is this gonna be like Omega Mart?
Yeah. Okay. Did you do Omega Mart, or have you heard of it?
No, I haven't. But a friend of mine was telling me that his friends had done it, and I really want to do it.
Please do it. Please do it.
Yeah.
If you're in Vegas, there's a few of them now. But if you're in Vegas or are going to Vegas, check it out. It's super fun and really cool. My only criticism of it is that it was really crowded. So I didn't get to see everything I wanted to see. But
I see. Is there a time limit, or?
No, I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, they weren't like timing us. You have to get tickets.
But it was just hard to get around, basically.
Yeah, you can get tickets, and you have a set time that you got to show up. But there weren't like wristbands or anything, so they weren't really timing us. But even just the storefront of Omega Mart, like, so for those that don't know, I won't spoil it too much, but it's a storefront that's very bizarre. It's, you look at things and things are off. Things look overly generic. It's trying really hard to be normal. And you look around and you can buy stuff off the shelves, but there's more to it. The storefront is just the beginning. There's a whole story to it that you can do the different stations and unlock in part of the Omega Mart. There's like all these video consoles and things you can research. And one thing that I will say that's really cool is there's like this extra dimensional research laboratory part of it that you can go through. It's huge, humongous, like a whole back part of it. And you're like going through this teleporter stuff. It's very neat. And there's these desks with computer stations at them, right? And you can open these files and you get a little tap card that unlocks things. You can read about what's going on at the facility and things like that. And there's a telephone booth on the bottom floor. It's like a phone booth in this canyon.
Sure.
And it's got a directory, and you can call these numbers, right? So he called when there's like director of futurism. And so he called, he's like, hello, is this the director of, and he called and somebody picked up and was like, hello? And he's like, is this the director of futurism? And they're like, they hung up, and he was like, well, that was weird. And then he went up to the desks and he found out that phone calls those phones up in the offices. So people were like calling and asking, like, is this the Department of, extraterrestrial tourism? And they were like, huh? And it would hang up. So people from the phone booth are just calling those desks, and their and the people, whoever's at the desk at the time, is just answering and being like, hello? that's weird, and like hanging up. So it's a lot of that kind of stuff. There's all sorts of cool interactive screens and fun camera stuff you can do, and weird rooms, and it's so fun and super worth it. And the tickets aren't even that expensive either. But it's totally worth a shot if you're out there and want something fun to do. You could kill hours in that place. There's so much to see. So
Ooh, I can't wait. Like because I want to do like a Vegas trip at some point.
Nice,
and, like,
do it.
Like because I've been like several times and I always enjoy it. I like gambling, but I can also not do gambling. You know what I mean? And I have a friend who also is not into gambling at all.
Sure.
Or like a couple friends who are like just not that interested in gambling. So I'm like, okay, what are some like things? And I want to take them to like a Vegas buffet. Like, have you eaten at the Bacchanal?
Oh, so I've never been to Bacchanal, but I've been to Wicked Spoon. That's my favorite.
Ooh,
buffet.
yeah. People really like Wicked Spoon too. I haven't had Wicked Spoon yet.
Wicked Spoon is good.
It's great.
My personal favorite thing, you get their fried chicken, the Wicked chicken, which comes in its own little fry basket, or the gelato in the middle part. All the gelato's great. But I do want to go to Bacchanal. I definitely do want to go to Bacchanal. Is that your personal favorite?
I love the Bacchanal. Like, I know, like, if you talk to people, they're like, oh, Bacchanal's overrated and the Wicked Spoon. And I'm like, sure. I fucking love the Bacchanal.
Yeah,
like,
look,
it's so good.
Nice.
Like, I fucking love it.
I trust your opinion. I trust your opinion on food, man. You've never steered me wrong. That restaurant we went to at what was it, MomoCon, that we waited 2 hours for.
That's right. Yeah.
God, that was so. That place was incredible. That place was so good. Yeah, that was really, really
it was
good.
Worth it.
Yeah. I trust your opinion on that. So.
Yeah, no, Omega Mart sounds great. Like,
and there's shows. There's so many shows.
What are your favorite shows there?
Ooh, okay. So, I mean, I'm going to sound really touristy when I say this, but you can't go wrong
Vegas, of course.
You can't go wrong with Blue Man Group. Blue Man Group's a lot of fun. We saw, last time we were there, we saw Blue Man Group, and we saw Ka, which was also super awesome.
Ka? What's Ka?
So, Ka is a Cirque du Soleil show, and it's like a story about this prince and princess who like are like their father is like killed and they're running away and they're sort of like going to hiding, and they have this like warrior training. It's super cool. It's like a fantasy story. It's it's really awesome. The big centerpiece they have is this wall that rises up from the center of the stage, and so they have a lot of vertical sections where they're like climbing. There's a scene where they're like somebody's down in like the audience and like shooting arrows up at them, and as they shoot, like the arrows appear in the wall and they like use them to climb, and it's a lot of that sort of trapeze kind of vertical wall scaling stuff. Very cool show, awesome music, lots of sort of martial arts kind of weapon fighting action, cool stuff. It's definitely worth it. I think that one's at the MGM.
Okay.
Yeah, that one was totally worth it. I mean, it's Cirque du Soleil. They're always spectacular spectacle shows, right?
Yeah.
I never got to see O, but I hear O is great.
What is O?
O is the water show that's at the Bellagio. So it's like all water swimming, sort of Busby Berkeley style, big water show stuff, but I've never seen it, although I have heard that the cost to repair the costumes for O costs more than the entire costume budget of every other Cirque du Soleil show combined.
Holy shit.
Yeah, because they all have to be water resistant and they're all specially made. But I've heard O is incredible. What shows have you seen that you like in Vegas?
So the only show I really got, I was there as a guest, and they got me and Lindbeck tickets to the Penn and Teller show.
Oh, I saw that one too. It was so good.
It was so fun, and I was like, oh man, like the next time I go to Vegas, like, so I think after that I went to Vegas with Anne Marie's family, and
nice.
That was more like a family trip, right?
Sure.
So like I was like, all right, we'll just kind of hang out and do whatever. But the next time I go, it's like I want to do shows, like shows. Mm-hmm. Eat, just go fucking hog wild.
Yeah,
like,
go crazy.
I mean, I love gambling, and I'll do that too. But like,
sure.
For me, it's also kind of like exploring like Omega Mart for sure, seeing what they have there. That outside of the casinos, or
Yeah.
I mean, outside of gambling. I mean,
Right, of course.
And I'm like you in that I don't like drink, so it's like okay, finding that. Hearing about shit to do is always good. So
Yeah.
that's good info.
Yeah, honestly, I think, and I'm really happy that Vegas has stuff to do, especially since, and like I'll gamble like $20, and I'll win 5 and be like, hey, I'm up. All right, cool. Let's buy myself a cheeseburger. That's the most gambling I'll do. But I'm so glad that there's stuff to do outside of the gambling and the drinking in Vegas. That there's just tons of stuff for you to do and see. Like it's really, really cool. And that's why, because I remember a while ago I went to Vegas and people were like, you don't drink or gamble? What are you going to do there? And I'm like, you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised at what you can do there. There's quite a bit of things to see and do.
Even just food and shows.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I used to go to Vegas constantly for Evo when I would compete, right? Because Evo was in Vegas. And so, I would get a room at the Mandalay Bay, and because that's where it was. And just go around, and when I wasn't competing, I'd be like, well, I'm in Vegas, baby. Let's go see a show, Speaking of the Penn and Teller show, did he do the one with the coins and the goldfish?
Oh, I don't recall.
That one's so
do
cool.
Do the recap. Or
So
is that a spoiler for people?
It's not really a spoiler, but basically Teller takes a coin and drops it into a fishbowl, and it turns into a goldfish. And then he like does it, and then like he like keeps taking coins out of his mouth or whatever, and he like puts them in and turn into goldfish, and then he drops like a whole handful and they all turn into goldfish in the bowl. It's so cool.
Oh, I do. That does sound familiar.
That's a really, really cool one. I'm such a sucker for magic. I love that stuff. I've never been to the Magic Castle, but I've always wanted to go. I love that kind of stuff.
Oh, we haven't been? Okay, I've only been once.
Yeah.
But like,
was it cool?
Okay. Oh, it was ridiculous. It was amazing.
I love magic.
Like the next, because I know someone who knows, can get into there, and I'm like, maybe next time.
Yeah, let me know, man. I'd love to go. It's like an invitation thing, right?
Yeah. He's a big magic nerd. Like,
that's so cool.
And so he was like, okay, we're gonna go when this specific close-up magician. I wish I could look up his name. I don't remember the name of the magician in particular, but it was. Have you ever seen like a really good close-up magician? Like,
I've never seen one in person. I've seen videos of them, but it's not the same. It's just not the same.
I mean, let me see if I can find, like, try to remember this guy's.
Sure.
It wasn't like, I keep wanting to hit like Johnny 5 cards. Like, that's not what it was.
I was gonna ask, did he have like a title or something, or was it?
Yeah. Oh, okay, like close up. Yup, his name, coolest name ever, Johnny Ace Palmer.
Ooh.
Johnny Ace Palmer.
Hang on, I gotta change my Steam name to that. That's so good.
He was doing shit like, so we got incredible seats. Like, we were because what they do is they put you in a very small room.
Right.
It's like you only like maybe 10 people at a time.
Yeah, I've seen pictures of it. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we were in it was me. I was with a previous guest on I was with the magic nerd is Fred. Freddie Wong. Yeah. So he's a huge magic nerd.
Nice,
so
it's awesome.
He got me in, and I was also with Riley, my co-star from Anime Crimes Division.
Anime Crimes Division, yeah.
Right.
Sure.
And so we are literally seated right in front of him.
Okay.
Like, I am like there's a table. It's as if I'm at the table.
As you're like he's a poker dealer and you're right there.
No, that's how close we were.
Wow.
Because he was having me and like Riley like, oh, pick the cup, or like pick the thing, and like he did. I don't want to necessarily spoil anything. Like, if you do get the chance to see him one day, but magicians will do stuff with like baby chicks, right? He did a trick with baby chicks that how you see someone react like in a magic show and you're like, they're
playing it up. They're playing it up.
No,
yeah.
I was that person. I was
you
like,
made the face.
Whoa!
You were like, whoa!
I was like, what? We were like, what is going on? Like, he's so good. And what makes close-up magic so cool is you're looking like, you're like, okay, where's he gonna pull it out from, or what's he gonna do? And just nothing. You cannot. Like,
wow.
he is, that good. And for it to be like, by Freddy's standards, who's like magic nerd, right? He's like, I waited until this guy was in town on the schedule for you guys to come, because he's that good, and he blew me away. So like,
wow.
If I ever get another chance to go, you're a big magic nerd, or at least you appreciate for magic?
I'm a magic nerd in that I just love the experience. Like, I just love being there and seeing it. Like, I'm not one of those people that likes to pick apart tricks and be like, oh, this is how he did it. I just love seeing it. I'm the ultimate patsy. I will absolutely play the biggest idiot in the world and be like, that's my card. Like, I just love that stuff. I just love being there and seeing it happen, because I have a massive appreciation for things that I can't do. And so I just love seeing it and experiencing it and watching it, and because it's just so cool. It's because I remember I tried to learn some card tricks when I was younger, but I didn't really have the aptitude or the dexterity to do it. And so and I just fell out of practice. So I just love seeing it happen and have such an appreciation for those people. And as far as I'm concerned, it's they're really doing that. It's magic. As far as I'm concerned, they're doing magic in front of me. Like, I love seeing it.
It might as well be, right? Like, it's so skilled, right? It's so skilled that you're like, I mean, it's fucking magic.
It's magic, dude.
I think I'm trying to find. There's another magician. I think who was like sort of the warm up act for him. Let me find his name. Really worth like. This is one where like, it's obviously like you can't get the same in person, but it's worth watching the trick. Like, he has like videos of it. I'm trying to find his name.
Do you ever watch Fool Us? Penn and Teller.
Oh, is that the Penn and Teller? I've seen. Yes.
There's some cool ones in there that I really like that they do once in a while. Because sometimes you'll see a trick and you're like, that's neat, and then once in a while you'll see a trick that's like, that's really cool.
Right.
Yeah.
Let me know if this sounds familiar. It was a variation on the like the coin matrix like trick. Are you familiar with what that is?
Matrix. I don't think so. Let me look it up.
It's a really elegant, like, sort of like coin close-up trick where they're like putting coins in their cards and that sort of thing.
Okay, cool.
And it was a variation on that, and I'm just stalling a little bit.
No, you're fine.
Find this guy's name.
Honestly, I think what's really cool about tricks is that there's always that base trick, because like a lot of magic tricks are just based on a trick, and then they just add their own flavor to it, which I think is so cool. And that's kind of cool. That's a little signature you get to give to the trick. You get to make it your own thing.
Yeah, and what's also fun is because Freddy knows it so well, where he's like, "Oh, I know what that trick is," but then he's like, "Oh, this is a really
cool play on that
version," or like it's a clever, like, I think a lot of magicians do is they're kind of like showing other magicians like, like, you know this trick, but have you seen my version of this trick? And like, ooh, there's a twist on it. Okay, I found the name of the magician. His name is Ryan Hayashi.
Ryan Hayashi.
Yeah, he
cool.
Yeah, I recommend checking his stuff out. He does a really good what is it, like, what does he call it? It's a did he come up with the coin matrix? Maybe, I don't know, but anyway, it's just look up Ryan Hayashi coin matrix on YouTube sometime.
He was on Fool Us. It looks like
he was on Fool Us, I believe. Yeah,
that's cool. Nice. And you got to see him? He was at the Magic Castle?
Yes.
Yo!
Yeah. So they just have people just all them. It's like, I mean, because the Magic Castle is like where all the magicians like just sort of like go to perform, right? They're like, hey, they just have different magicians like every week or whatever. And yeah, he was great. So I would recommend to anyone listening as well. Like Ryan Hayashi's coin matrix trick was super cool. And yeah, I love magic. So yeah, man, we went interesting directions. I like that.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever talked about magic with anybody, but we covered board games, Vegas, magic, voice acting. We covered the whole gambit.
Yeah, we got a little bit of everything.
Yeah. Well, we'll wrap it up here, but thank you for taking the time, man.
No problem.
Where can people find you?
Octopimp everywhere. I'm Twitch, Twitter, YouTube. Just literally type in Octopimp and I'll show up on Google. So it's branding, baby.
It's branding, baby. I mean, that's me and ProZD.
Yeah, you got it.
It's easy to just Google. Just Google this.
Just Google this and you'll find me. Awesome. Thanks so much for having me on, man. I really appreciate that.
Absolutely, yeah. It's a pleasure.